Hello, everybody. With Christmas just around the corner, let's unpack a very difficult question that many of you might be struggling with right at this moment. Should you spend Christmas with toxic, narcissistic family members? Let's unpack this together. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Now, before I continue, I want to let you know that I'm here to support you. Down in the description box right below this video, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. I take telephone calls and video calls through Zoom, FaceTime, and WhatsApp. I will be taking calls all throughout the holiday season, even on Christmas. Also, The Royal We has a private membership available for you where you can get daily support from me and a growing community of people from all over the world. I have a workout program for you and so much more, all in the privacy of a members-only app. So head on down to the description box and check out the resources that are available for you. Now let's get into this topic of, should you have to spend Christmas with toxic and narcissistic family members? Real quick, before I get started, if you have already committed yourself to showing up for a potentially toxic family gathering, I want to let you know that I put a video about the 5 powerful strategies that you can use to protect yourself from narcissistic abuse during Christmas. So I encourage you to stop this video and watch that one. I'll put the link right there. If you have not yet made the decision, well, then this video is for you. Now, to begin with, I want to ask you a very personal question. Are you considering spending your holidays with toxic narcissistic family members because A, it's something you really want to do? B, is it because they want you to? Or C, is it for the sake of tradition? You feel God wants you to? Go ahead, leave your comment down below. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. Now, I'm going to start with the second possible answer, which is you're doing it for them. Typically, when you agree to show up to a toxic, dysfunctional, narcissistic family dynamic or gathering for Christmas, it's not because you really want to, but you're doing it for them. You're doing it because they've invited you or they've told you that you need to be there for one reason or another. But let me ask you a question. Isn't this just continuing in the ongoing control that they have over you? Are you not just going along once again with what they dictate for your life? Listen, just because it's Christmas or a holiday doesn't give them any more privilege or right to dictate or to control how you spend your day or how you spend your evening. Remember, even when it comes to Christmas, it's not just about them. Forget about the narcissistic, conditioned belief that you have to forget about yourself and do things for other people. Narcissists all over the world have benefited from this greatly, especially around the holiday season. There is no reason, no day, no event, nothing that should give them control or power over your decisions. Christmas is no exception. Christmas is just as much about you and your peace and your joy and your fulfillment as it is about anybody else. What good does the experience of joy and love and connection, what good does it do? What does it truly mean if you have to forfeit what all these things mean for you in exchange to be controlled by others? I want you to stop and think about this before we continue. Let me be clear on something. If family members do not care about you throughout the year, if they do not love you throughout the year, if they are not supportive throughout the year, then what difference does one day make? I mean, really, think about this. Does the word Christmas or the concept Christmas, does it really change their heart? Not at all. So you have to ask yourself, what is the reason, what is the purpose for them inviting you or them having you over? Is it even for you? Is it even for the relationship? Now, I want you to stop and consider this, because the reality is when you deal with narcissistic people or when you have toxic people in your family, the answer is no. It has nothing to do with you. They are not including you because they love you. They are not including you because they really care about you. You'll know this because of how they treat you year-round. The reality is, and this is a very hard one, and it's a difficult thing for you to understand, but it's the absolute truth. Oftentimes, narcissistic people, toxic family dynamics, they are inviting you and including you in their Christmas plans for them. It's a way of making them look good and feel good. It's a way for them to present themselves in a virtue signaling way of look at us, look at how loving we are during the holiday season, which is all fake, by the way. It means absolutely nothing on the long term, but they're able to present themselves on this day in keeping with tradition. They're just trying to uphold an image of themselves. It's an opportunity for them to take pictures and post it on their social media saying, oh, look at our Christmas event. In other words, you are most likely just helping their image more than anything else. So if you are taking their invitation for them, know that it's not because they care about you. You're actually helping them. You're enabling them. You're allowing them to continue with their own delusional concept that they don't have to care about you year round. They don't have to love you. They don't even have to like you, but they are able to use you on a holiday to virtue signal to the world how wonderful and how loving they are. This is where you have to say, whoa, wait a minute. Is this what even Christmas is about? Is this what the holidays are about? Is it truly about spending time with people who don't care about you throughout the year, who don't care enough to reach out to you, to say hi to you, to be supportive of you, to be loving towards you? Is Christmas really about those people having the right to exploit you for the purpose of them wanting to show how loving they are? Honestly, if you're listening to the words coming out of my mouth right now, and it's making sense, you should feel disgusted by the fact that your family, who does not want to show you love throughout the year, for some reason wants to use this day as though it's some kind of a ritualistic way that they can say, look at us and how loving we are. And you've been a part of that. You've enabled that for years. I'm here to tell you right now, if this is the reason you're going, is simply for them, then perhaps this is the time where you're able to say, no, thank you. Let's talk about the first possible scenario, which is you decide to show up for you. Is it possible for you to show up to a toxic family gathering despite their toxicity, despite how they feel about you? You are going to show up because it's who you are. It's out of who you are. Is this even possible? Well, yes, absolutely, it is possible. But I'm here to tell you right now, it's only possible if a few criteria are met here. Number one, radical acceptance. You accept that your family is in fact toxic, that they do not necessarily care for you in the way in which you hoped and believed they always would. Number two is that you have a fulfilled life. You're so fulfilled and engaged within your own life, your own purpose, your own community, your own partnership, your own love. You have so much going on in your life that you're overflowing. You're a wellspring of water that's overflowing in love and joy because of the life and the existence that you live, that you're able to go into any toxicity and you're overflowing with love and joy enough for all of them because they don't have it. That's the criteria. Only then are you able to present yourself within or amongst a toxic family dynamic and truly be there because you want to. But the thing we have to be careful here with is that you're not entering into a place of cognitive dissonance. And what I mean by cognitive dissonance, and yes, you can create your own cognitive dissonance, and that is that you're trying to present yourself in this image of love, in this image of goodness, in this image of, I don't care what other people think. I want to present myself in this particular way because it's Christmas and I want to uphold this image of myself. This creates cognitive dissonance. And here's why. Because if you're not careful, you will be going against yourself. Because deep down, truly, you're starving, you're thirsty, you don't have love overflowing, but you want to maintain the image that you do. And so what's going to happen is you're going to go against yourself. Deep down, the depths of you is going to be screaming, don't go. We don't want to deal with that. There's no love there, and you need love. You deserve love, but you're going to push back against that saying, no, I want to uphold an image that I am okay, that I do have this love, and so I'm going to go. And what's going to happen in this cognitive dissonance is you're going to go against yourself. You're going to put yourself in a situation that you're not ready for. You're going to deep down have expectations that you're going to be received. You're going to be received as this good, loving, giving person. And as a consequence, because you're around narcissistic people, you're around toxic family, of course, they're not going to, in any way, shape, or form, encourage you as being a loving, giving person. So all you have is just you going against yourself. This is the type of stuff that builds resentment. This is the cognitive dissonance that you can give to yourself that will cause you to leave the situation saying, why did I go? And you're going to build resentment and you're going to become bitter. Why? Because you're going against yourself. So we have to be careful in this particular place of, are you truly going because you're in a place of acceptance and overflowing, or are you going to uphold your own image? If you're going to uphold this image of you that is not yet accurate, that is not true, you're not at this place yet where you're overflowing with love. You're not truly at a place where you can accept their dysfunction. If you're not truly there, then you will only step into a place of growing bitterness and resentment because you're crossing yourself. And it is super important, no matter what, that we do not cross ourselves. Because it's when we cross ourselves, it's when we go against ourselves in any type of gathering that we become more resentful and more bitter. And we bring on more shame and more guilt into our lives. And it's not guilt because of how they treat you. It's guilt because you have not yet been able to be true to yourself. Now let's talk about the third possible outcome, and that is that you're going for the sake of tradition. You're not necessarily going because of your toxic family and their invitation. You're not even going because it's something you really want to do. You're going because you want to uphold tradition, because the tradition of it means more than anything to you. Well, let me help you out with this. That's no different than being controlled by the narcissistic family members. All you're doing is you are, in exchange for being controlled by the family members who are toxic, you're being controlled by tradition. That can also be very toxic. You see, tradition and rituals don't care about you. Traditions and rituals don't care about your wants and your desires, just like the narcissistic family members don't. Traditions and rituals are just that, traditions and rituals, which puts you under the spell, holds you under the thumb of what you feel you have to do, whether you like it or not. As I said, what's the difference between being controlled by that or being controlled by your toxic family members? Going for the sake of tradition, just because it's Christmas, can become just as abusive as doing things just because your family tells you to do them. Why? Because it's not truly what you want to do deep down. It doesn't truly resonate with you. It's just something else controlling you and can put you in bad situations. This is when even traditions can become abusive. So you see, you don't need to submit yourself to traditions or to rituals. Now, some of you might be saying, but what about God? Church always indicates, for example, that Christmas is so special because it's the birth of Jesus and I'm supposed to be loving and extra loving and I have to do this. Listen. The reality is God doesn't care about Christmas. Christmas is not an ordained holiday that's scriptural. Open up your Bibles. Show me where God says, thou shalt submit to Christmas. It doesn't exist. The reality is if you really want to get into it, Christmas is a pagan holiday. It began in paganism. And at some point, Western world Christianity said, hey, we see your paganistic holiday and we'd like to inject some of our Christian beliefs in it. Is that okay? And of course, the whole world said, yeah, sure, we don't care. Why not? And here we are, people who have been subjected to church and Christianity and faith, now having this belief that Christmas is something that we have to go along with. God is not going to strike you down with lightning because you say, you know what? Christmas has been hurtful to me because of my toxic family. I don't think I want to participate this year. God's not going to be mad at you. If your church is mad at you, well, maybe you need to find a new church. If your Christian friends are going to be mad at you, well, maybe you need to reconsider your Christian friends. Christmas has nothing to do with your faith. Your faith and your relationship with God has nothing to do with whether or not you choose to participate with this day called Christmas. Here's my hope for you this holiday season. Spend Christmas in a way that brings you peace and joy. After all, it's called a holiday for a reason. It's an opportunity for you to take a break in your life. It's a holiday. I appreciate how they use the word holiday, for example, in Britain, in the UK. Holiday means an opportunity to get away. It means an opportunity to take a break. They oftentimes say when they're going to go on a trip, I'm going on a holiday. What does it mean? It means I'm taking a break. And I encourage you to take this Christmas as an opportunity to experience a true holiday. Find rest for yourself. Find peace for yourself with whatever that is. Now, if you truly find peace and rest with spending it with toxic, narcissistic family members, then by all means, don't listen to what I'm saying. Go and spend it with toxic, narcissistic family members. So long as it's bringing you peace in your life. So long as it's from a place of a wellspring of how much love and joy you have to where you're able to overflow into the lives of those around you. That's fine. But if you, for any reason, are going into this holiday under the control of either narcissistic family members or narcissistic dictatorship of tradition, then I challenge you to pause. Do something different. Take control of your own life. Experience this Christmas and this holiday season the way you want to. Maybe you take your own trip. Maybe you do Christmas solo. There's nothing wrong with that. You can go on a trip, go to Hawaii, do something that's meaningful for you. Experience for the first time in your life, if you never have, breaking free from the control of both family or the control of tradition. Break free of all of that. Experience being under the 100% control of you. Experience it the way that you would like to experience. Experience that peace. There's always next year where you can reunite with people who you're unsure of. There's always another opportunity to do it the way tradition dictates you should do it. But experience it. If this is the first time, if this is the first year, experience doing something that you really want to do. Enjoy the holiday the way you would like to enjoy the holiday. This is the only way, friends, I'm telling you, you will avoid guilt, shame, the possibility of cognitive dissonance. You will avoid the possibility of experiencing resentment and bitterness for having forced yourself to do something that you really don't know if that's what you want to do. I'm here to tell you right now, let's not do that anymore. Narcissistic abuse will end in your life when you stop doing things that you're told you're supposed to do and instead do things according to how you want to do them under your control. The key to stopping narcissistic abuse is to live life from within your control, not being forced, not being controlled. Experience the control that you have. Because at the end of this all, at the end of this life, you're responsible for your decisions and your actions. You're responsible for taking control of where you are, of where you go, of what you do, and how you love and how you experience. You're not going to be able to blame your family. You're not going to be able to blame traditions. You're not going to be able to blame rituals. You're not going to be able to blame anything else. This is your opportunity, and this is why I'm talking to you. And if you're struggling with this, I am here to support you. Like I said before, down in the description box, you can schedule one-on-one time with me. Telephone calls and video calls are available for you. I will be available all throughout this holiday season, even on Christmas. So you do not have to spend any of this time alone. So head on down there, schedule some time with me. I'd love the opportunity to speak with you. If you're brand new to the Royal We, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss any future Royal We content, and check out one of these videos that are recommended for you. And I'll be back with more videos for you right here on the Royal We.